Thanks, listeners. It is time to get back to school. Here we are in August, and it's a perfect time to visit with our Elko County School District officials in time for the first day of class, which is August 28th. We know that administrators have already been on site. Our superintendent, C.J. Anderson, is joined by Kayla Church, Public Information Officer. Great to see both of you. Hi, Kayla.
Hi, Lori. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here today. And Kayla, thank you for all the hard work. We're going to be talking about the results of that. You've been busy all summer, revamping the website and getting the app developed. So those are cool new tools that we're going to talk about today. And you brought the boss with CJ Anderson. CJ, it's great to see you. And you are fresh from the Debt Commission meeting, I understand, today, right?
Yeah. Good morning or afternoon, I guess. Hi, Lori.
Hi
Thanks
there.
for having me here again. And a couple hours ago we had that meeting, but been running around all morning at different meetings, and had an opportunity to talk to the Debt Commission and answer some questions about where we are with our capital funding, resources that are currently available, potential scenarios for upcoming, this year, fiscal year, and a couple more fiscal years beyond that. And so it's starting to spread the word and educate out there as to the situation we're in, and nice to have Kayla here as well, because we have a lot more planned on how we're going to interact with the community and provide information as to the different scenarios, both financially and just from a capital improvement standpoint, so people are aware of what needs exist and how we can, as a community, meet those needs.
Well, thanks again, CJ, and I do appreciate that you're here in time to talk about, as you mentioned, the capital campaign. You've had some pretty pointed, not just you personally, but school trustees have had some pointed questions from at least Commissioner John Carr. We know that he's concerned about that and funding. Were you able to maybe alleviate some of those concerns or the questions that were asked today during the debt meeting?
Yeah, I think so. There were quite a few questions. It was just more, there weren't questions about specific projects or anything like that today, but there was inquiry as to, how is the school district going to make everything work, right? Because the reality is, just because pay-as-you-go is no longer providing a source of revenue for us, doesn't mean the roof stopped deteriorating and the concrete stops heaving and the boilers stop getting old. Like, that stuff happens as the years go on. And so, we were able to just give a good picture through, just kind of an anecdotal explanation, but also showing our capital improvement plan. Here are the exact number of dollars that we have available to us. And something I really want to make sure people know is we're engaged in a very collaborative method of how to address these needs. We, before this legislation of AB 519 passed, we already had in motion the formation of the Capital Improvement Committee, which consists of either a city council member or elected representative from all of the different governments that exist across our community. And then for those communities that don't have elected officials, appointed or nominated representatives from there, district leadership. So we have everyone from all around the community, including tribal leadership, just that we all meet together. We reviewed our MGT report that we've talked about many times here on this radio show. And but for those who haven't heard about it, it's a comprehensive facility needs assessment that was done. So we went over that. We went over current needs of campuses, and as a committee decided on what were the most important priorities right now, what things we might look to in the future if there is a source of funding that becomes available to us. And so the results of that committee at this point, the capital improvement plan that we have, the 5-year CIP. That's a plan that was put together. We put it on paper, but it was really decided upon by that committee as a whole with all their input. And so I think it's important for people to know that we're not just saying this seems like a good project to do, let's do that. Like, it's really, really carefully thought about. It took us about 3 meetings or so to really go over all that data and give people time to digest that and come up with their feedback and suggestions. And so really grateful for the people that have put the time in there and have a collaborative product there.
And CJ Anderson is our school superintendent, and thank you for addressing that. That committee is separate from the school trustees, right?
Yes.
And you're setting the plans, and so you are involving, as you said, it's a collaboration. Because I know this just gives you an opportunity to address that. There's been some sense of the county commissioners believe that they can control your revenue stream, and I know that the trustees don't feel the same way. I think that's a fair assessment.
Yeah, and I worry less about control and just about really good, having good decision making and good collaboration among people. I mean, in the end, if we need to point to what NRS says or what a bill says about who's in charge of what, like we can do that, but we're not, not in a power struggle with anybody. I'm not worried about all that. What I'm worried about is making sure people are aware of the situation we're in, what needs we have, and being responsive to the needs, to the feedback, to the suggestions of community members, with all due respect for any given person, be it a county commissioner or a city council member or just a parent. It doesn't matter like who these people are if they have valid suggestions and opinions. But in the end, that's the reason I'm not just saying these are the projects that CJ likes. Like the stuff that's represented on the CIP for the next 5 years, that is a compilation of feedback from parents and community members through the MGT process, through the committee members that we have there, from important town hall meetings that happened. I mean, it needs that just started this, like, because that MGT report was done back in, was it November? And then we had one of the crazier winters we've had in a long time since then. And so, yeah, when you have a crazy winter like that, there are now needs that exist that did not exist back in November because of damage done from significant snow and ice that we had. And so really just it's kind of a moving target. The CIP usually has a really good, pretty accurate projection for the 1 year, and then the 4 years after that, we're just making plans and trying to think of what meets the needs of our community. But, inevitably there's going to be people that disagree with X project or, the timing of something. Like, that's inevitable. You can't get away from that. And by nature, that's supposed to happen. So in the end, the product we came up with is again, it's a collaborative effort. And as far as what we can do with that money, the money we have available to us now is at our disposal for what that committee decided was important.
Well, thank you, CJ, for, again, you're just representing what the School Board of Trustees, which is a body of elected officials. They're the governing panel, and they oversee these school resources. They approved this. I believe it was unanimous.
Yeah.
The CIP.
That's correct.
Yep. So moving forward with that, certainly. I appreciate that. Anything else on the topic? I just want to give you a chance to kind of weigh in on it. So I think
no. What I would say is whether it's about the CIP or any individual project, because, for example, we have projects that go out to bid and bids that return and permission. We ask for permission all along the way to the Board of Trustees. So, we ask for permission to go out to bid. Then when we receive bids, we ask for permission to accept a bid. And then and sometimes with projects, we ask for permission to go out to design before we even go out to bid. And so there's usually 2, 3, sometimes 4 steps of getting permission. And so when those things show up on board agendas, those are awesome times to give input as to, how important that project is or how valuable it is, or maybe whether or not it's a priority for someone. And so, unfortunately, what we find sometimes is by the time people voice their opinion, we're really, really far into those projects, and it's a project that's been being talked about for months and months. And so I would encourage people who, to be active. You don't have to attend every meeting necessarily, but certainly, the agendas come out predictably on Thursday mornings at 9:00 the week before our board meetings. So check out the agendas, see what's going on. And if there is something, feel free to talk about it at an early stage. It's a little tougher once we got unanimous votes and the wheels are moving and design's done and stuff has been purchased, and it's a little tougher to derail that train at that point unless there's a really compelling reason to. So just really encourage everyone to be involved every step along the way.
Thank you, CJ. CJ Anderson is Elko County School Superintendent. And then the school board's activities, as he mentioned, the agendas. There's also a YouTube channel, so you can get those videos in archive. You can participate in your school governance in any number of ways, and you can do so interactively or in person. And talking about capital improvements, and the CIP plan was approved. You also updated the government affairs on Monday, CJ. Unfortunately, we've had some vandalism, and that impacts the money that's put aside for capital for things like paving and asphalt damage, as you talked about over the winter.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay, I'll talk about that. I don't want to be too negative about stuff.
No, and we're going to definitely go into the.
It's important to highlight that enough needs exist without people creating needs, and so it's very disappointing to know of vandalism to our schools. Those are for some kids, that's the safest place they'll go to on any given day, and so we want our students to feel safe at school. We want our staff to feel safe at school. We want parents to feel comfortable sending their students there. So obviously, discourage any form of vandalism to anyone's property. And when someone vandalizes a school, that's a vandalism to everyone's tax dollars, their hard-earned efforts, the custodians and maintenance staff that work hard to keep our buildings running and in good shape. And so, obviously, don't spray paint, don't shoot out windows, don't throw rocks at stuff. Like it's really disappointing, to be perfectly honest. And obviously encourage anyone who, if you have any information as to people that are doing such things, it's never too late to do the right thing and speak up about it.
Yep, you can call the Elko County Sheriff's Office or local police if it's in city limits. Thanks, CJ, again for that. That'll all be taken care of, I'm sure, by the time that school is ready in session.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yep.
Well, I know something that the school district is super enthusiastic about. In fact, you have some great sponsorship of this opportunity. On Tuesday, August 22nd, you have about 1,000 employees who will be descending on the Elko High School campus. That's huge.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. So something I've been wanting to do for a couple of years now, and we're going to do it this year. And I believe it happened at least sometime in the, not crazy distant past, but recent past. Is a convocation for all of our staff in the district. And so, on August 22nd, which is the second day that all of our teachers will be back on contract, after they've had a day to kind of settle in and meet with their staff and check out their rooms for the first time, every staff member, or the 99% of them, are going to come to Elko on that day. We're going to have professional development training for all staff in the morning. And then in the afternoon, we've got a wonderful kind of motivational speaker, but not like a corny motivational speaker. But his name is Alex Boye. He's a singer, songwriter, producer, motivational speaker, and he's coming with a message that is very near and dear to me. And I think I've talked about it with you before, and I've probably talked about it on another radio show, and I talk about it pretty much all the time I can, is the value and the importance of every individual. And so Alex is going to come uplift all of our staff. We're going to have to do it in multiple sessions because we have too many people to fit in the Performing Arts Building at any one time. But throughout that afternoon, all of our staff members will be able to be built up and uplifted by Alex's message. And we've got some great things to give to them to start off their school year. And just really grateful to a lot of people who've put work into this. There's a lot of moving parts with something like this. And so they'll be at Elko High School. They'll also be at the high-tech center by Great Basin College. They'll be at our district offices. They'll at the convention center. We'll have some trainings going on there. And so we'll be spread kind of all around that little pocket of Elko for the day. But yeah, they're coming from far and wide. Jackpot, Wendover, Wells, Carlin, Owyhee, Spring Creek, they'll all be here. And just big shout out and thanks to the Elko Federal Credit Union who has helped sponsor this event, both helping with the acquisition of our speaker, as well as some of the materials we get to give away to the staff to start off the year. And I know Elko Federal Credit Union cares very much about our staff, and And when they asked what ways they could help, and specifically from a mental wellness or a positivity kind of approach, because there's different ways you can help schools. You can donate time, you can donate whatever, and so they very specifically wanted to, how can we show people that we care? And I said, well, this is something we've been wanting to do, and it's something for them, and it's got a positive, uplifting message for them. And they said, well, we want to be part of that. And so, big thanks to Todd Sorensen from the Elko Federal Credit Union, and I know the board of the credit union very much had a say in them doing this and supporting us in this way. So thanks to the board of the Elko Federal Credit Union as well.
Yeah, they have done a lot of great work in steering some of those important resources that are invested by local residents, members of the Elko Federal Credit Union, right back into the community, CJ.
Yep.
So,
Gotta love it.
and that's a really nice vote of confidence for the school district, for the work of the teachers and the administration and the staff. So congratulations on earning the trust of that financial institution. It's a two-way street, right?
Yeah. Sure. I hope so. Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes. So we'll give you a little break because yes,
let's hear from Kayla.
He's been in meetings all morning too, I think. And Kayla, again, welcome. A lot of your hard work and that of your team and your staff, all the administration, its central office is reflected in the programs that CJ does and his public presentation. So it's nice to get to see you and to thank you in person for everything. So obviously, there's something that parents and students will want to know about that I think you've worked really hard on as well. And I see the credit union is one of the great sponsors of this event, too.
Yes. So the Elko County School District Family and Community Engagement Center each year holds their very own backpack and school supply distribution out of their small little building there on Burns Road. And this year we wanted to do something different. We wanted to have more of an event with other organizations that provide resources to youth in our community. And we had heard that Communities and Schools of Northeastern Nevada was also hoping to have some sort of back-to-school event. And we teamed up with them, and they also mentioned that the Elko Federal Credit Union wanted to provide haircut vouchers. And so we teamed up and we reached out to several other organizations, including the Myberry, PACE Coalition, also Old Timey Ice Cream will be there, FISH, the Family Resource Center, and the Children Rural Mobile Crisis Response Team, and Vitality Unlimited. So it's going to be a one-stop shop, pick up your school supplies. The school district's going to have calendars available, bus routes, required immunization records. We're going to know what time school starts for your students because, as we know, that's changing a bit this school year with the 4-day school week. So if you don't know when your student's supposed to be at school, come see us at the Back to School Resource Fair and we'll help you figure that out.
So that'll be Wednesday, August 16th, 4 to 6 at Adobe Middle School?
Yes, 4 to 6 p.m. at Adobe Middle School. And if we don't get rid of all of our backpacks and school supplies, we will open it up for families to stop by the Family and Community Engagement Center.
Very nice. And I see, too, that they're doing haircut vouchers, which is really a great idea because, kids run wild in the summer and especially those little boys, their hair gets kind of... So this is a chance for a proper haircut, right?
Yes, yeah. And I think that the style now is long hair, so maybe mom's going to have to start getting the kids to get those haircut vouchers for sure.
That sounds like fun. So that's a great opportunity for anybody. Again, backpacks, school supplies, a lot of people really supporting this effort to launch our students to make this the best school year ever. And a part of that, too, as Kayla mentioned, that with the 4-day, again, this is all from your website, the school district website, Kayla. But we should explain, for example, that teachers and students at most schools will be attending school Monday through Thursday, beginning the 28th. They won't attend school on Friday unless there's a federal holiday on a Monday. So it's important to note that, right? That's on the website. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or did you want to talk? Yeah.
And I think that the first example, it actually happens that very first or the second week back.
Because that's fair, right?
Labor Day.
Oh, that's right, Labor Day. Yes.
Yes, so they do technically have the Fair Day holiday off, even though now with the 4-day, Friday would typically be off. But then that following Monday is Labor Day, so students will actually have to go to school that following Friday. So they'll get a taste and get to practice real quick.
Yeah. So don't be surprised and don't assume. It's always good to check that 4-day calendar. It's already up on the website. And as both CJ and Caleb mentioned, school day start and end times are varied throughout the campuses, and you can go online or go visit your campus, your school's website to get details, or certainly call them, stop by. I'm sure many of them are having their own open houses, right, Kayla? I think so. Yeah.
Yes, I've been seeing them slowly but surely get that information out. And the reason why I say slowly but surely is because I've recently just held a training for all my schools to get administrative training on the new website. And this year we're doing something a little bit different. Each school has a media liaison. And so they will be trained on how to update their school's website and the new app that we're really excited to share with the community. Through this Elko County School District app. It's just called the Elko County School District, but once you open the app, you're actually able to see the list of all of our schools. As soon as you see that list, parents, make sure you select what school your children attend and that you want to get push notifications from those schools. So you will be updated and alerted in case of an emergency, snow days. We had a bunch of those last year, late starts. We really want to encourage the community, parents, but even community members to download the app, because that is how you'll find out any and all information related to the school district.
I can imagine someone who works in the media like me, if I downloaded the app and then chose all those schools, it'd be pretty busy. There'd be a lot of notifications, right? So
yes, maybe I shouldn't encourage community members to receive notifications from every school, but
it's possible, though. That's the important thing, because a lot of parents are thinking, how in the world am I going to manage, my kindergartner and my middle school student and my high schooler, and right? Because they're all going to have different times, possibly. Yeah.
Yes, and it's a lot of information, but hopefully all located in one app makes it so much easier for parents now to get that information.
And what's the best way to find the app? Does it have a specific name? I'm not born digital, so I'm going to be the guinea pig here, and you can tell me.
Yes, it's very easy, whether you have an Android or an Apple phone. You just search Elko County School District in either the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store.
Okay, I'm going right now. Elko County School. Okay. If I were my daughter, this would be done. Oops, I misspelled school district. No.
What you'll notice when you do find it is you're also going to see our new logo there with it. We've got a new logo, and
yes,
and we've got some new design and branding that have gone along with our strategic plan. We have a lot of updating that's happened over this last 6 months or so, and that's just one little piece of that. The app is pretty great. Parents, whether they need to find the meal schedule for the week or calendar of events or any of those things, it really is just a good one-stop shop for whatever schools you want to select. And so, I'm a perfect example of a parent who's got 4 kids and they go to 3 different schools. And last year they actually went to 4 different schools, and this would enable me to just really to have those notifications specific to the campus I want to know about. And it's a great little resource that people ought to take advantage of. You're welcome to continue to just monitor websites or receive emails if that's your style, but this is all most up to date, and our, like she said, our staff are being trained on how to make sure those calendars are current always. The app will also link to any social media platforms that those schools have. So if the school also has a Facebook or also has a Twitter or Instagram or whatever, those things can all be linked, and their posts will show up on the live feed on the app. So you won't need to go to more than one place potentially if you want to get all the news from your school.
That is a terrific development. That's great, Kayla, that you were able to get your arms around that. And I'm sure that working with the different school liaisons are going to be super excited to be able to use this new tool.
Yes, of course, I was a little bit worried that, teaching new technology and a new tool would be met with some sighs, but I was actually really happy to hear that schools are very happy to have this resource now, and it's easy to use.
And, I have to be honest, too, as a parent and as just a consumer, it's nice to get something under that one app, Elko County School District, because then it's been vetted, essentially. I mean, this is a trusted source for what you're consuming, what you're seeing on your social media. Yeah, so huge. So way to go.
Yes.
Civics, right? A civics lesson. I would have the app on my phone right now, but I'm going to have to reach out to my daughter to get my Apple ID because I forgot my password. So there you go. I'm a typical person, my experience. So I'm excited to get this app. No matter how many times I push with that, it's going to ask for my ID. So I'll just put my phone down right now. But so that leads us into, more great opportunities. You can find out with your app when you download it. With the 4-day school, the new calendar, Monday through Thursday, there'll be a lot of parents, a lot of families will be able to do things with their children, with their students. Athletes will be able to travel. So this provides them some opportunities. But it also means that for other students, they might need some activities. And I guess either between CJ or Kayla, if you want to talk about, there are also going to be meals. I think CJ mentioned this a little last time. Would you want to update us, Kayla, on some of that? Or I guess each site, these different sites will have some meals available, I think?
Yes. So I believe it's similar to it's the same schools that we distributed lunches during COVID, during the shutdown. And so at least one school in each of our communities will have lunch available on Fridays. And that's Carlin combined, Jackpot combined, Owyhee combined, Wells combined, West Wendover Elementary, just for West Wendover, Sage Elementary for just Spring Creek, and Southside Elementary for just Elko.
And then, CJ, I did have a question. Last time we talked, I think we were working on transportation. I mean, we as a community, right? The school district, because some people might not have transportation at those schools, or...
Yeah, so transportation for meals or for Friday enrichment activities is still not something the district will be able to offer. We're doing our best as far as trying to staff those opportunities and provide resources, whether it's through meals or through enrichment activities on those Fridays. So that's kind of our chip in there, is providing those things on Fridays. But as far as people getting themselves there, that's not something the district's going to be able to do.
We do have Get My Ride, though, so that's important. 775-777-1428, and you can call now and make reservations, make that opportunity. There's probably other students in your neighborhood, and maybe they'll make some other arrangements too, right? Because that's kind of what they do too.
Yeah, and it's kind of they're the same sites as where people got meals during COVID, but these are not drive-through pick-up and go meals. These come with enrichment opportunities. So students will come and sit in the cafeteria, and they'll be there for half hour to an hour, depending on what the enrichment activity is at the site. And the enrichment activities will vary from site to site, and parents are invited to join their child for that meal and sit there with them and participate in that educational enrichment opportunity. Or you can drop them off and they'll be well supervised, and you got to make sure you come back and pick them back up.
Yeah, got to come get them.
It's only a certain amount of time that they can be there. But yeah, just making sure that those exist. And aside of those, you'll also have Friday tutoring opportunities and makeup at every site. And some of those, it won't be every single Friday. I don't want to speak too much in generalities as if it applies to every campus, because campuses, we do what we can with the staff we have and the people that are available to us. So a lot of those schools are still figuring out that rotation and the timeframes they'll be offering tutoring and the enrichment opportunities. At some point, when those are perfectly established, we will have those posted on our website. In the meantime, like she mentioned and you mentioned, our administrators have been back on contract for about a week and a half, 2 weeks at this point. So still getting geared up and ready for the school year, but those opportunities will be established, and certainly welcome to contact each individual school that your child goes to if those are opportunities you're needing to take advantage of.
All right. You can find out a lot of details, again, as Kayla and CJ have both been talking about the Back to School Resource Fair, Wednesday, August 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at Adobe Middle School. There'll be lots of parents there, lots of teachers, and lots of excited students, because it's for everybody. So that's a cool opportunity. I guess the only other thing I might ask you, since you're still on the mic, CJ, is you did mention too on Monday there's more collaboration now with Boys and Girls Clubs, and so parents can take advantage of that opportunity too for Fridays.
Yeah, again, trying not to speak out of my realm of what I know. That I know there are other entities that are providing opportunities and places for kids to go on Fridays when we don't have school in session. But at the government affairs meeting, I was referring to an MOU, that the memorandum of understanding that the district engaged in with the Boys and Girls Club. We get funding sources sometimes for specific schools, and so we have a couple of schools that students from those schools will be able to attend with Boys and Girls Club, and we help provide supplies for that. And Boys and Girls Club, I know they've drastically expanded how many employees they have and how much opportunity they can host on a Friday when school's not in session. And so it's been that partnership has historically been great, and it continues to be awesome with them being really responsive to the needs of the students in our community, whether it's after school on a regular school day or now on Fridays. They've got a certain capacity as well, but they're expanding that to be able to help accommodate, to go along with the desire of the community to move to a 4-day model.
Thank you, CJ. CJ Anderson is our Elko County School Superintendent. Also, we'll be signing off here shortly. Kayla Church, Public Information Officer for the Elko County School District. Did we get to your topics today, Kayla, do you think?
Yes, I'll just mention one more time. Please download our Elko County School District app.
Yeah, and if you're struggling with it, just ask your middle schooler, or, well, by this time, grade schooler, and they'll be able to do it in about 10 seconds. So, and do enjoy that app. We'll be talking lots more about it throughout the school year. Just again, want to thank you both for making time to come on the program. Kayla, thanks for all the work that you do behind the scenes and making all this information accessible to us, and just bringing together teachers and the community and students and families, because we care so much about our students. We really do. This is going to be a great school year. There's been a lot of work gone into this. So thank you, Kayla.
Thank you.
And thank you, CJ.
Yeah, thanks as always for having us.
And thank you, listeners, for joining us for Elko Live today here on KELK.